There comes a specific moment in the life of every mother when the weight of the silence she chose to carry alone becomes so heavy, so unbearable, that every breath turns into an act of combat against what she kept inside. When every sunrise brings with it the same weight that every sunset carries. Riley Curry knows this moment well. She knows it so well that she could describe with precision the exact instant when she understood that she could no longer continue. Riley is 58 years old. She has hair that is beginning to turn gray, a face that tells stories of an entire lifetime of difficult decisions, and a heart that has carried alone a secret that affects everything and everyone around her. She spent decades, literally decades, keeping a truth that no one knows. A truth about her life that changed the way Stephen grew up. A truth that altered the paths that her entire family followed. A truth that changed everything, yet she kept it silently so that her son could grow up without the weight of what she carried. Because Riley has always been the woman who sacrifices. From the beginning. From that day when she understood that she would become a mother and realized in that precise instant that her life was no longer only hers. That now her life belonged to someone else. That now everything she would do, every choice, every sacrifice, everything would be measured by the need to protect that small being who would depend completely on her. Someone who one day would look at her and search for strength, would search for protection, would search for that woman who promised she would never let him fall. But keeping secrets is a slow and silent way of disappearing within oneself. It is like being in a room full of people and being completely invisible. It is like speaking and no one hearing. It is like carrying something so heavy that you forget what it was like to breathe normally. Riley feels this particularly when she is alone, when the night arrives and the EVA house becomes deeply silent, and there is no one to tell, no one to say out loud, "This is what I carry every day. This is what I have kept for so long. This is what weighs on my chest like a rock." No one to simply listen and say that they understand. Because what kind of mother places her own weight, her own suffering, on the fragile shoulders of her son? No good mother would do that. No mother who truly loves would be capable of doing that. And Riley has always loved. From the very first moment, when she saw Stephen, that helpless baby in her arms, she knew with absolute certainty that protecting him was more important than anything else in the world. More important than her peace. More important than her truth. More important than herself. But now Stephen is no longer a child. Now Stephen is a man. Stephen is a father. Stephen has his own family. Stephen is someone who understands that life is complex, who understands that nothing is simple or purely black or white, who understands that the people we love carry weights we do not know about, invisible weights that affect everything they do. And Riley finally understands that it is time. It is time to let this weight fall from her shoulders and allow others to help carry it. One day, a specific day that Riley will never forget, while she is alone in her home, sitting in the living room where so many meals were shared, Riley feels something change inside her. It is as if the weight has grown so much, expanded so much, that it no longer fits inside the cavity of her chest, as if the truth she kept is desperately asking to come out, as if it were whispering, "You have kept it long enough. You have carried it long enough. Now it is time to let others help carry this. Now it is time to let the people you love know that you are also human, that you also have limits, that you also need help." She thinks about all the times she almost told it, all those occasions when she saw Stephen and Ayesha together, That couple who love each other so deeply and thought, they deserve to know this. They have the right to know this. This affects them. They should understand. All the times she felt the words forming in her mouth, ready to come out, and she swallowed them with force, suppressed them, put them back into the depths of her heart. And she thinks about why she kept it for so long. The answer is always the same, always has been, always will be. Love. She kept it out of love. She kept it because she thought it was the right way to protect. She kept it because she believed it was the right thing to do. She kept it because she knew with certainty that the truth could hurt the people she loved more than herself. And if there was something Riley could never endure, it was hurting those she loved. But now, at 58 years old, with decades of life experience behind her, Riley understands something that most mothers take an entire lifetime to fully understand. She understands that true protection is not eternal silence. True protection is preparing your child for the truth. True protection is honesty mixed with love. True protection is telling the truth at the right moment, in a loving way, knowing that your child is strong enough to deal with it. She spends days with this weighing on her heart, entire days thinking about how to tell it, days rehearsing words that she never manages to make sound right, days understanding that there is no perfect way to do this, that there is only the honest way, only the way that comes from the heart. And then she does what every courageous mother does when the moment arrives. She invites her son and her daughter-in-law for a conversation. Not a casual coffee, not a passing conversation, a real conversation. She says that she needs to share something important. She says that she needs both of them to understand something about her life, about the choices she made, about the weight she carried. Stephen immediately feels that something important is coming. It may be in the details, in the way his mother speaks, in the way her eyes look different. Or perhaps it is something deeper, something children feel when their mother is about to change everything. Ayesha feels that this will be a conversation that will completely change how she understands her mother-in-law, that it will expand the respect she already feels. And Riley takes a deep breath. She breathes as if she were preparing to dive into deep waters. When they are all together, when there are no distractions, when there are only the three of them in that room, Riley begins, "You know that I have always done everything, absolutely everything to protect you," she says. And there is softness in her voice, but also a depth that shows she is speaking about something fundamental. Always, since the beginning of everything, this is who I am. I am a mother who protects. I am a woman who does what is necessary so that the people she loves are safe and happy, even if it costs me myself. Stephen and Ayesha listen in silence. Riley continues, and now there is a vulnerability in her voice that rarely appears. But what I kept for so many years, what I carried alone, without sharing it with anyone, without letting anyone help, that was not only protection. That was also fear, deep fear of hurting you, fear that you would know the truth about me and stop loving me the way you love me, fear that what I kept would harm you, fear that I might not have done the right thing. And there, in that precise moment, Riley begins to reveal. She reveals what she kept for so many years. She reveals how long she kept it and what it cost her. She reveals why she decided now, at this moment in her life, that it was finally time to be completely honest with the people she loved the most. Stephen listens to every word intensely. Ayesha listens to every word with an open heart. And when Riley finishes speaking, when the final words leave her mouth and there is silence, again, that silence is deafening. It is not the silence of rejection. It is not the silence of anger. It is the silence of deep processing. It is the silence of two people who have just understood something extremely important about the woman they love, about her strength, about the sacrifices she made. Stephen is the first to speak. "Mom," he says, and his voice trembles with contained emotion. "You kept this alone? You carried this alone for all that time? Without asking for help? Without letting anyone know?" "Yes," Riley answers with simplicity and honesty, "because it was my weight to carry. Because I made choices that I believed were right. Because I needed you to grow up knowing that you had a mother who was strong, who was capable, who could protect you from anything." Then Ayesha speaks, and there is deep respect in her voice. "Riley," she says, using her mother-in-law's name in a way that shows respect not only for who she is, but for everything she is. "You sacrificed your peace, your own mental and emotional peace to give us security?" "Sacrifice is a mother's work," Riley replies, with a simplicity that contains an entire philosophy of life. "I did nothing that any true mother would not do. I only did what love requires." But then Stephen steps closer to his mother. It is not the embrace of a child seeking comfort. It is the embrace of a man who understands, in that instant, the real weight his mother carried for him. It is an embrace that says, "Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being not only a mother, but also a father to me." And when Ayesha embraces them as well, when that family stands united in that moment of truth and revelation, something deep changes in the core of what they are. It is not only forgiveness, it is much more than forgiveness. It is recognition. It is understanding. It is the revelation that love is infinitely more complex than it appears on the surface. That sometimes the people we love, most do things that might seem wrong, yet come from the purest and most honest place of love that can exist. Stephen says, with tears in his eyes that he does not try to hide, "You never needed to carry this alone, Mom. Never. Because we are family. And families, real families, carry things together. The weight was not only yours to carry, it was ours as well." Riley cries too. She cries because, for the first time in decades, decades of silence, decades of carrying it alone, someone knows, someone understands, someone carries it with her now. The weight that was only hers, isolated, impossible, is now shared. It is distributed among people who love her deeply. And there is relief in that. There is peace in that. There is freedom in that. After the truth is revealed that night, everything is different. But different does not mean worse. It means better. The relationship between Riley, Stephen, and Ayesha does not merely remain. It grows. It deepens. Because now it is based on complete honesty. Because now they know the woman behind the role of mother. They know the difficult choices she made. They know the love that was behind every decision. In the days that follow, Stephen speaks publicly about what his mother revealed. Not as criticism, as honor. "My mother kept a secret for decades to protect me," he tells the world. "Not because she did not trust me, but because she loved me so much that she wanted me to grow up with security instead of the weight of the truth." This is the kind of love that not many understand. This is the kind of sacrifice that defines a true mother. And when the world hears this, when they see the honor with which Stephen speaks about his mother, something changes in the collective way people see motherhood. Because the universal truth is that mothers sacrifice. Mothers carry weight. Mothers make choices that no one else understands because they are doing everything, absolutely everything, out of love. Riley is finally seen, not as the mother of Stephen Curry, the famous basketball player, but as Riley, as a woman who carried alone a weight she never asked for, as a mother who loved with such deep intensity that she kept her own truth, her own comfort, to protect someone she loved. Ayesha also speaks publicly about it. "Riley is the strongest woman I know," she says with conviction, not because she never fell, but because she fell alone, processed everything alone, and stood up alone. Because she carried weight she never asked anyone to help carry. Because she loved in a way that required the greatest sacrifice of all, her own silence. 1 year later, the family is profoundly different, closer, more honest, more complete. Riley lives without the weight of the secret, because now she does not carry it alone, because now her family carries it together. For you who are a mother and have kept a secret, Riley offers permission. Permission to reveal. Permission to let the people you love know that you are also human, that you also carry weight, that you also need help sometimes. For you who are a son or daughter and discovered a secret your mother kept, Riley offers deep understanding. Her sacrifice was not neglect. Her silence was not abandonment. Everything she did was because you mattered more than anything, more than her peace, more than her truth, more than herself. For you who are over 50 years old and carry your own weight, Riley offers a mirror of a woman who did the best she could with what she had, who made difficult choices and endured them, who carried weight that transformed who she was, who finally found relief not in forgetting the past, but in sharing it with people who love her. Riley's story is not about a secret. It is about a mother who loved so deeply that she kept the truth from herself. It is about a son who grew up and finally understood. It is about a family that finally became complete when courageous honesty arrived. It is about how sometimes the strongest people we know are the ones carrying the heaviest weights in deep silence. For you who are still carrying things alone, Riley offers a fundamental promise. You do not have to carry this forever. Your weight can be shared. Your truth can be spoken. Your people can understand. And when they understand, when they carry it with you, when they honor what you kept for so long, there is a peace you have never experienced before. There is a freedom that transforms. There is a completeness that heals. There is finally someone beside you who says, you are not alone anymore. And that, for a mother who carried everything alone for decades, is everything she ever wanted.